sabbatical in the fall, and while he takes sabbatical, his place as interim school director is going to be filled by Dr. Muna Abdelsamad. So Dr. Abdelsamad will be the interim director in the fall semester, and then Rod will return again starting in the spring next year. Another exciting leadership announcement is to announce that Tina Yapeli is coming on as the director of the School of Art and Design. Tina, please stand. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome all. I also wanted to announce, and I know you've all seen the announcement, but just to reiterate that Dean Janice McKay will be starting here on July 3rd, and she's joining us from UNLV. And so starting that week of 4th of July, you'll start seeing her around, and I'll be meeting with her for transition meetings, and as will Kurt and Annie, the whole Dean's team will be helping to orient her to our wonderful college. My last day in the Dean's office will be Friday, June 16th, as I'm going to take a vacation. And so during those last 2 weeks of June, Kurt will be serving as the acting dean, so save all of your problems for after June 16th, and it will be SEP, someone else's problem. But seriously, I did just want to take this moment to thank you all for an amazing year plus that I've had as I was invited to serve you as interim dean. It has been an amazing privilege and a gift to get to know you all, to understand what lighting people go through, to start to understand movement and dance, to listen to Javali's gamelan performances, to get exposed to the amazing research, scholarship, and research, creative activities that are being accomplished by our faculty and our very talented and committed students. And so, and our staff, of course, yes, and the hard work that our staff are doing. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we're having a PSFA Staff Appreciation Week next week, where we have invited all the staff to various events, a lunch, a high tea, some flowers and thank you cards and things like that to show our amazing staff who work so hard, how much everyone in the college appreciates you. So thank you very much for that. So I'm going to be going back to be director of the School of Communication, and I will take back with me all of the knowledge that I have gained in this year. I'm not leaving PSFA, so come find me on the second floor of the communication building, right above where they do all of the spray painting for the scene, for making scenes. So thank you very much for a great year. Kurt.
And thank you, Heather, for your leadership and your guidance, your patience, and your listening skills, among many other communication skills that you have developed and taught and will teach in the School of Communication. So thank you. Our college leadership undertook a strategic planning process in May of 2022. It is by no means over. And so I'm just going to provide you with a timeline of what we've done and where we're going. And so in May 22, we had a retreat with the dean's office and the school directors. And in that retreat, it was in Scripps Cottage. Yes, no, that was just in our conference room. Yes, so many retreats and locations. I get confused, and I suppose the important thing is what happened during that time. And during that time, we asked the college leadership to engage in a metaphor exercise, to develop or brainstorm metaphors for the college, to draw a picture of the college, what they envision the college is like, so a metaphorical picture, and to brainstorm core values. We had a retreat in August of 22 as well. And in that retreat, we engaged in what is called a GEM process or GEM exercise, grounding, energizing, and missioning. We had the folks there, again, the college leadership, rank those core values, draw their vision, draft a mission statement, and then discuss the alignment between the mission and vision statement. From that mission and vision statement, we developed items for a Qualtrics survey. Those were distributed to the school directors. They were also distributed to the PSFA Diversity Council, all of whom provided feedback, and we plan to distribute that Qualtrics survey college-wide to faculty, staff, students, and alums in fall of 23. And in the fall of 23, we'll also be convening an ad hoc committee to look at these results and hopefully conduct some focus groups and further hone the results of that to eventually become our strategic plan. So that's where we are, and I can certainly answer any questions about that if you have them in the Q&A portion. So I'm going to introduce our Associate Dean for Faculty Advancement. No, I'm introducing Heather again. Our Interim Dean, Heather Canary again.
Thanks, Kurt. So some of you joined us about a month ago or so for a music building safety town hall. And I just wanted to let those of you who are here know, and those of you who weren't here, know that what is happening right now is a pilot program in collaboration with the University Police Department, with the staff and faculty in here in the School of Music and Dance and other people who use this building, to try to make this building more welcoming and feel safer for everyone who uses it. And it's a pilot because some of you may have noticed sandwich boards outside of the entrances to this building when you came in that said you must be a red ID holder to use this space. And as many of you know, SDSU is a public campus, and so our buildings are public spaces. And what has been happening for the past few years is sometimes people who don't belong here are using these spaces for their homes, and we understand the need for people to have shelter. But when that shelter creates health hazards and safety hazards for our students and our faculty, it was time to intervene. And so the police department is collecting data, kind of seeing how it goes with the music building. And next week, they're holding a similar town hall in Adams Humanities building, because we have some of the same problems in Adams Humanities. And we have 3 PSFA schools that are housed in Adams Humanities: Journalism and Media Studies, Public Affairs, and Hospitality and Tourism Management, as well as the School of Nursing is housed there. Our ITS group is housed in the basement. That's a huge building, and there are a lot of programs that are housed there. So we're going to be having a safety town hall there next week on Monday, I believe it is, or is it Tuesday? Oh, I can't remember. Which? Monday, yes, thank you. So Monday, and we'll have the same folks who we had in the town hall here last month. We'll have Josh Mays, who's the AVP for campus security. We'll have Greg, the UPD chief, and then Mark Peterson, who's the campus safety officer. We'll all be there talking about some of the potential interventions, talking about an analysis that was done of the building, and also fielding questions and trying to do a little Q&A about that. They do not have currently a similar pilot program going on in Adams Humanities, but based on the results of what happens with this building, they're considering it, certainly. am happy to finally announce that the ENS building is scheduled to reopen next Monday. Thank goodness, yes. And yes, we can all clap for that. And so that will be wonderful, just in time for the last 2 weeks of class to house classes and faculty and staff who call that building their home. And then the final building update that I want to provide is about our Performing Arts District. You all may have been wondering, how long do we have to function in a construction zone? And the good news is that it looks like by mid-May, we should have those spaces turned over to us. And that includes the Main Stage Theater, formerly known as the Don Powell, right across the way. It includes the brand new Prebis Stage, which was originally called the Second Stage, a brand new building that is being built and equipped. It includes the amenities building, also across the way, a brand new building, which is going to house, it's our ticketing office as well as concessions. And they'll be continuing to work on our 2 outdoor stages, the Clay stage as well as the Lambden stage. Those won't be quite ready, but at least the indoor spaces should be turned over by May 15th. And you'll continue to see landscaping being done and some hardscaping and things like that. They'll continue to work on the Performing Arts District across the summer, and with our grand opening for our opening season scheduled to happen on September 18th. And so we're very excited. It's been a long run, and many people in here and probably on Zoom with us today have been sitting in weekly construction meetings to get updates and ask questions and poke and prod our construction team, who have been working very hard. We, of course, had the wettest winter in 3 decades, which didn't bode well for things like cement curing and things like that. So, but it will be very much worth it in the end. And now I will turn it over to Associate Dean Annie Buckley to talk about our Faculty and Staff Awards.
All right, thank you, Heather, and thank you everyone for coming. I get to do the fun part, not the fun part, but one of the most fun parts. So first, I'm going to start by announcing the outstanding students and the most influential faculty. And we do have a certificate for you, so if you are here, please come up. And so I'm going to start with that. So the student from Air Force Leadership Studies, the outstanding student is Andre Asopardi, and the influential faculty is Colonel John Grimm, who you know is not here, but the outstanding student from art is DM Nguyen, and the faculty is Dr. Jillian Sneed. Here's going to help pass them out. Amazing. And from communication, the student, congratulations, Jillian. From communication, the student is Shaki Moore, and the faculty is Dr. Kathleen Check. Accepting on her behalf is
Brian Spitz.
She's teaching. Thank you. And from criminal justice, the outstanding student is Brianna Elzinga, and the most influential faculty is Dr. Annette Burkeen. Congratulations. For dance, the outstanding student is Vernice Edlinau, and the faculty is Jess Humphrey. From Health Communication, the outstanding student is Marie Verissimo. And we have two most influential faculty. She had two that we're supporting. So we have Dr. Lourdes Martinez and Dr. Rachel Record. Thank you, Lourdes. Yes, I believe we might have Rachel on Zoom. She was going to be here for part of it. And from Journalism and Media Studies, the outstanding student is Morgan Prickett, and the faculty is Dr. Amy Schmitz-Weiss. From Military Science, the student is Chivas Powers, and the faculty is Hassan Zakaria. Okay, from Music, we have Kayla Aponte and Dr. Eric Starr. And from Naval Science, Hogan Lawson, and the faculty is Jeffrey Butler. We had all those in attendance in the beginning. Let's see, maybe we'll have some more here. So this student, outstanding student from Public Administration, is Athena Lazos, and the faculty is Dr. Bruce Appleyard. Perfect. And we're having more here. Great, thank you. And next, we have from Recreation and Tourism Management, the student is Rebecca Shalani Avila, and the faculty is Corinne Younghome. Looks like Corinne is here. Awesome. Thank you. And from Television, Film, and New Media, we have Maya Tasuko Ratliff, who is also selected as the outstanding student for the college. So congratulations to Maya. And her most influential faculty, also congratulations, is Mary Posatko. Thank you. And then last but not least, from Theater Arts, we have Camila Gabriela Citon, and the faculty, her most influential faculty, is Dr. Katie Turner. Congratulations. And we do have one more, so it was not last but not least. I went out of order, but the other student, outstanding student from Hospitality and Tourism Management, is Allison Bush, and her faculty is Carl Winston. I'll get it. All right.
Afterwards, tell everybody we're going to take a photo afterwards.
Okay. I'm very clumsy, and I don't want to trip on a cord, so I'm going to go ahead into the Dean's Awards, but before I do, I just want to let everyone know that we are going to take a photo after this with all of the award winners. Thank you, Heather, for coaching me on that. So please stick around so that you can be in a photo. We would love to have that to feature it on our college site and in the upcoming Research Scholarly Creative Activities newsletter. So now I get to announce some awards, and before I do, I want to thank all of the members of the Honors and Awards Committee. It was such a pleasure to work with them, and they worked really hard reviewing so many nominations from our colleagues across the college for the inaugural, I believe, right, Dean's Awards. So I'm so honored to be able to present them, and I do want to thank all of the members of that committee for going through the applications and making the recommendations, selections for the winners. It was a really hard choice because we have so many amazing faculty and staff. And I also want to thank all of you and all of our colleagues who made those nominations and took the extra time out of what I know is everyone's busy schedules to recognize a colleague for their excellence. And so I want to thank you who nominated as well. And so the way we're going to do this is I'm actually going to start by reading, we're going to have our own little Oscars. So I'm going to first read all the nominees, and if you're here, it would be great if you could stand up or wave, whatever you're comfortable with, and then we will be announcing the winner, and we'll ask the winner to come up and get one of these lovely certificates. And it also comes with a financial award, so we're excited to, you'll get that separately. So we're going to start with the staff. This was a tough one. We have so many amazing staff, as Heather was sharing earlier, and we'll recognize them all next week. But the nominees for outstanding staff were Elizabeth Allison. So stand up or wave, whatever you like. Nicole Carter Curtis. Kim Elliott. Teresa Liu. Yay, she's here. Hello. Kathy McBride. Chantel Paul. Kevin Perez. And Shirley Valencia. So congratulations to all of you for being recognized and nominated by your peers and colleagues, and thank you for the incredible work that you do. It was a tight race, but the winner of the Outstanding Staff Award for 2023 is Elizabeth Allison. Congratulations, Elizabeth. All right, and we will go into faculty. So for teaching, we're going to do teaching next. So we had 2 Dean's Awards for Excellence in Teaching, starting with an award for a lecturer and then an award for a tenure track faculty. So with the lecturer, again, we'll do the same thing. If you're here, please stand up or wave. We would love to acknowledge your nomination, and then we will announce the winner. They were all actually tie races, so we'll do that next. So for the lecturer award, Excellence in Teaching, the nominees were Jim Brown, Ashley Knuckles Cuevas, Kathleen Check, Sonia Schumann, and Richard Underwood. Just want to make sure I remembered correctly. So the winner of the Excellence in Teaching Award for Lecturer is for Richard Underwood. As we know, our lecturer faculty work so hard and oftentimes in multiple universities and are very busy, so I completely understand why we were not able to see them, but congratulations to Richard and to all of the amazing lecturer faculty across the college. We couldn't do what we do without our amazing lecturers. So now we're going to go to the Excellence in Teaching Award for Tenure Track, and there were the same amount of nominees 5. So the first nominee is Bruce Appleyard. And the next nominee is Shannon Keitlinger. Yay! I'm so glad you're both here. And next we have Shelley Orr. Jillian Sneed. And Megan Welsh. Congratulations to all of you for being nominated and recognized by students and colleagues for your work. So all of the nominations for Teaching Excellence came from both students and colleagues. And the winner of the Excellence in Teaching Award for Tenure Track is Megan Welsh. All right, so we have 2 more, and there was only 2 nominees for each of them. So we're gonna go ahead to those next. We have Achievement in Research, Scholarly, and Creative Activities. And I will say, in the role that I have and in the role that I had working as a DRI fellow, I'm definitely loving getting to know so many of our colleagues and their incredible research, scholarly, and creative activities, and also love seeing more and more people sharing their work with our office and with the community and national and international. So hopefully we'll just have more and more nominees in this area as we go forward. But right now, this year, for the lecturer category, there were 2 nominees, Jennifer Gee. Oh, I'm so sorry. I said the wrong thing. It's for assistant professor, but it's still Jennifer G or Gee. So it's not for lecturer faculty, it's for assistant professor. Thank you both. But it is still the first one. Jennifer, is it G or Gee? Do we know? Jennifer Gee. She's not here.
It's G.
It's G? Thank you, Dr. Jennifer G. Let's give her a round of applause for her nomination. Extra round of applause for all of the back and forth. Okay, so congratulations to Jennifer. And the second nominee for assistant professor in research, scholarly, and creative activities is Yin Yu. Sure. And the winner for research, scholarly, and creative activities, another tight race for the assistant professors, is Yin Yu. All right, and finally, we have achievement in research, scholarly, and creative activities for a tenured faculty member. I wrote it wrong in my notes, so that's on me. For a tenured faculty member, and we also had 2 nominees. And we had, the nominees are Bruce Appleyard, and Chuyun Oh. Congratulations to both of you for being recognized and nominated for your incredible work. And the winner of this award is Dr. Chuyun Oh. Congratulations. All right, thank you everyone for making nominations, for recognizing your colleagues. Congratulations to everyone. And I think it's time for our Q&A.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you to the awards committee. I also want to thank Kurt Lindemann and the AP&P committee of our college, because this set of awards was thought of by Kurt, and and he put it through the committee, and it's been a few years, and we had a pandemic in there, and everybody hid in their homes, and so it's been a while in the making and discussing, and so it was really great that these awards finally came to fruition. So right now we have about 25 minutes to answer questions, discuss topics, things that we talked about or things that we didn't talk about. This is kind of our last time together as a college pre-commencement. So anything that you wanted to know about, except my family's secret recipe for bunny cake. Shelley. No. Yeah.
Shelley, I'm sorry. We're getting a notice from Alicia, so the people on Zoom can't hear your question.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, so you have a wonderful projection voice. However, it still doesn't help our colleagues on Zoom. Thank you, Kurt, for that. Thank you, Alicia.
So my question, I hope they're...
Is it on?
I don't think it's.
It's not on.
Okay.
Check, check, mic check, 1, 2,
Oh.
check.
Okay. I just didn't know who was checking. So my question was about the security and the restricting the building to red ID card holders. And I teach in the music building right now, and I had warned my students, oh, get your red ID, that kind of thing, because I had misunderstood, that we might actually need them to gain access. Is there a plan to have that kind of level of security as we do at residence halls and that kind of thing to actually gain access?
That's a great question, Shelley. Thanks for asking that. And the answer is no. When people are coming in and they clearly have business in this building, you know, you're a student with a backpack and you're walking into a classroom, you're a faculty member with a backpack and you're walking into a classroom, you're not going to have somebody there that is asking for your red ID. When it is after hours and the building is closed and somebody is sleeping in a hallway, then they're probably going to be asked for their red ID, you know, and it's only because we've got it posted that actually provides the legal means for our security company, Elite Security, to ask for a red ID. If we didn't have it posted at every entrance and exit in the building and have that be an announced and posted requirement, we would not be able to ask anyone to leave our building because every building on campus is a public building. So it is a red ID light, and we are not going to require that everybody show IDs like in the residence hall where you've got a little bit more serious security issues. I will also say, and this is something I neglected to include in the updates, that after years of asking, and the school directors and coordinators of these various schools can attest to this, we are finally on the project list to have card access control rather than key locks for this building, for Adams Humanities, for the art building, and for the communication building. And that is anticipated to also help to reduce on unauthorized users coming in and settling in our buildings after hours. Because when those doors lock, some of the doors here are so easily breached, locks are just a joke. And so it's quite expensive and it's quite a long project because it for some of the doors, it means replacing the entire door, the door jamb and everything. These doors are sometimes 60, 70 years old, and so they're not really secure anymore. So the access control, so if anybody, for example, music students who may want to come in and use the practice rooms at midnight on a Friday night when the building is closed, that's when they will need, once those access control scanners get installed, they will have to use their red ID to get in. Yeah, but those will be open during class times. Yeah, thank you so much for asking that question. Others? Don't you want to hear yourself speak on a microphone? It is fun. Yeah, Jess, come on up.
I may have missed it, but in the middle you were talking about a strategic planning process. Is there any results from that, or is that ongoing? And how will that continue or interface with the transition in the fall or the summer?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that, Jess. So the strategic planning process that Kurt described, it's really been this year of laying the groundwork for the incoming dean. When the SDSU strategic priorities were announced in April of 2020, it was a really bad time for the college and schools to take on a serious strategic planning. When we were, as a professor in the School of Communication told me, we're barely getting to Friday, And so what we decided to do when I came in as interim, I did not feel comfortable really taking an aggressive approach to a strategic plan because that's really a permanent dean's position. So what we decided to do was start laying the groundwork. And that's what we've done this past year. So there are no results because that survey hasn't been sent out yet. We're waiting for really the transition to Janice to come. We thought we might send around the Qualtrics survey this spring, and then we just decided it was better for that to be led by her rather than in a placeholder. And so we've just got all this data for her, and then she can lead the charge next year, constituting an ad hoc planning committee, launching the Qualtrics survey. She might have some additions or changes that she would like to see on that based on her goals for the college. And so it's really just been, here, look at all these really cool pictures that we drew. Here's really fun metaphors that we have. Here are some core values and drafts of mission statements. So all the things that we've been building up as information that she can take forward and then include everybody, all of us, in the process next year and continuing. Strategic planning, really, if you want it to stick and be meaningful and really take a college to a next level, can't be quick, and it needs to be inclusive. So thanks for your patience as we're just kind of waiting for things to settle in the college and take that on to the next level. I'm really glad you asked that, Jess.
And Jess, I expect there will be several opportunities for faculty, for example, to provide input, both in the survey, when we do sort of a thematic analysis of the results, subsequent focus groups perhaps, or additional town halls. We haven't decided that yet, but that will be going next year. So I think there'll be many opportunities to provide input for faculty and staff, I guess, as it pertains to this audience.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I want to just, I don't know if this is important to anybody else, but after a lot of time on Zoom and things moving more and more transactional and email and internet, it'd be really awesome to have some in-person focus groups to actually be in live conversation.
For sure. I agree. I'm a face-to-face person too. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on up, Julie.
In regards to the safety of Adams, humanities, and summertime, where most of our classes are online, is it possible to request that the building be closed and only have access during that time because only really staff are there?
Yeah, we did that last summer, and I think that you all responded positively to that. So that's definitely a reasonable request, and I would recommend that next week at the town hall that you say this to them next week so that they'll be taking notes and make note of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the way, this is being recorded. There were some faculty who could not be here but wanted to get some of this information, and so we'll be posting the recording of this town hall on our PSFA website. Jay Hunter, if you're listening, by the way, we'll be asking you to post this on our website so that people can access this information.
Heather, we should also make it clear that the Zoom chat is being monitored, right? So if folks on Zoom have questions, you can put those in the chat and we can address those here as well.
Yes, thank you.
I do have a question. Are there any plans for key card access to the Dramatic Arts building and theater buildings? We have similar safety issues.
I don't recall seeing the Dramatic Arts building on the list, but I would need to find that out. So I'm sorry I don't have an answer to that right now, but we can find out. Mm-hmm.
The next question I have is there an update on Chula Vista Theater, actually the Chula Vista Studios?
Great question. There was a recent news article of somebody trying to make news where there is none. And so there is no update, actually. We're in a holding pattern. The city of Chula Vista and the state of California are trying to identify additional funding. We did identify during further discussions that there's not sufficient funding yet to meet the program needs of the television, film, and new media program. And so we've been continuing and extending the MOU between SDSU and the city of Chula Vista, and we'll continue to extend that MOU until all potential sources of funding have been exhausted, with the hope everybody wants to see this happen, but where there is no money, there is no project. And so we just are waiting to make sure that we can get the funds we need to meet the program needs as outlined by the faculty. Thank you for that question.
In case the walk up is too intimidating, I have a handheld mic, so you can just raise your hand and I will come around and give it to you. We have, yeah, oh, you're going over there. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi.
I was just curious, you mentioned the grand opening of the performance complex here in September. What are the thoughts on what that ceremony will be like, or has that been discussed yet?
SEP.
Got it.
I was just curious if there's any update on new and replacement equipment funds. We haven't heard anything about that this semester so far. I was just curious.
That announcement is coming out. Is Clarence here? Yeah, Clarence, you want to come up and speak to that? We just got an announcement about that.
I am sending the call out for 23-24 equipment allocation funds this week. So I'll go out to your school directors and financial coordinators, and then I'll work with your faculty and staff on coming up with that list.
Other questions? These are all really good questions.
Can Clarence please repeat his answer?
Maybe hold the microphone closer.
I am working on sending out the email
That's perfect.
for the 23-24 equipment funds allocation. It's going to be going out this week to your school directors and your financial coordinators.
Great, thank you.
So I work with Clarence. I'd like to add, if you have faculty or staff who are needing an upgraded computer, out of warranty, inoperable, this is the time to think about that.
Great, thank you, Mel.
Please go to IT. Please consult the IT. Please go to IT first. Thank you.
Kevin, do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, just please go through IT whenever you need any new equipment, either set up or quoted, please.
And yes, one of you please elaborate why that's important.
Please consult your IT consultants on any technical hardware or software you're going to purchase, because we are going to be the ones that end up supporting it. So thank you very much. We appreciate that, and that's why it's important.
Thank you, Josh. Kevin?
I can answer the hardware. The reason we want to quote all the hardware is because sometimes hardware is purchased that is not, like for example, someone purchased a Chromebook which can't be supported by us because it doesn't run Microsoft Office or Adobe Acrobat, and it kind of just, it's probably gonna be surplus, probably super fast. So that's why we want that's why we want to quote everything so we know what to support and what we're supporting.
And so we can keep track of inventory? Yes, that's important.
Yeah, this past year we had over 200 pieces of equipment that were listed as missing inventory in the college. And it was not fun when they were slapping my hand about that. Katie, I wanted to return to your question that I answered in a little bit of a snarky way. But what I can tell you about the plans is that Lizbeth Price is leading a kind of a promotions and branding committee who is on that? I know that Rob Meff is on it, and Jess Humphrey here's on it, and then we've hired a about to graduate graphic design student who was our intern last summer in the college office. And so are there other people on that committee as well, Lizbeth?
Yeah, there are 6, but I can't remember.
There are 6 people that we don't remember on the committee. Arzu Oskal, thank you. Arzu is also on the committee. And so they're working on branding to come up with like a logo and tagline that is all in compliance with our brand central requirements and things like that, because we really do want the community, the broader San Diego community, to see the Performing Arts District as a destination to come to enjoy the talents of SDSU students and faculty and staff. Okay, sure. Other questions or comments? Mel? Okay.
I'll bring the microphone over.
I have a question about the new theaters and external individuals or groups renting them, or on-campus entities wanting to, say, rent them for an event. I used to work in theater, and we get calls all the time about that. Is there going to be a formal process for those requests moving forward?
Great question. So for the first time, the college is funding a production facilitator. We can't call them a production manager because they're not going to manage people, but they're going to manage things, as in spaces. And so that has been posted. If any of you know qualified people with production manager background, point them to the SDSU Human Resources page. It was posted a week or so ago, and that person is going to be a full-time staff member to manage all of the spaces, because we're basically going from one stage, the Don Powell stage, to 4 stages. And so yes, it's going to take somebody to take care of that, you know, officially and formally and carefully. Yeah. And that person will also, when classes are not in session, will be working with conference services. They kind of own the spaces on campus during the summer and winters and those kinds of things. Yeah. Good question. Yes, Rebecca.
My question is about, we talked a lot about some of the stakeholders involved in the building access, faculty, administrators, student staff. I'm wondering if, as a college, it would be possible for us to put together a resource list for the folks who are unsheltered, so that we have support that we can offer when we do come across them in our buildings, especially since we do that research in our college.
Yes, and there actually is a a list that the UPD works carefully with. They have on staff a social worker, 1 or 2. Rod, do you know if? Yeah, but they have social worker staff, and I was under the impression that these sandwich boards were going to have QR codes with those resources, but I haven't noticed them, but I also haven't really looked carefully. Kurt's going to go look because inquiring minds want to know. But yes, it's an excellent idea and something that we have been talking about and supposedly implementing, but if it's not implemented yet, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you for that. We'll hear from Kurt momentarily. We await with bated breath. There are QR codes in the restrooms on the doors, and those have resources. Thank you, Kevin. Did you find anything?
Well, there is a buildings and grounds regulation QR code on the sandwich boards, but the restrooms in this building at least would be the place where they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as we extend this kind of program, we should definitely make sure that those resources are available and easily accessible. Thanks, Rebecca.
We have an.
People who are unhoused have
Oh.
access to a QR code.
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, maybe not all.
Yeah. Chantel.
So I think my comment is adjacent to Annie's, what Annie may have been saying, which is many either low-income folks and people don't have access to a smartphone or the ability to scan a QR code.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be great if there was a printed resource available and if that printed resource could be available in multiple languages.
Oh, good idea about the languages. Hadn't thought about that. Thank you. Yeah, great suggestions. We'll pass that on. Yep, good idea. Thank you. Others? All right. Anything else in the chat, Alicia?
There are no questions.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you again for a great year. And I look forward to a successful last few weeks of this academic year. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Help your.
There are cookies on your way out the door. Please help yourself to cookies.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, for the phone.